Recently, I've had a ton of new collectors reach out to me and ask, how do I submit my cards to PSA? So in today's video, I'm gonna give you a tutorial on exactly how to do that. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Dakota. Welcome to Cards Over Stocks. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So first thing you do is obviously you pull up your browser, you go into there and you type in www.psacard.com. So once you get to that screen, the first thing you need to do is you sign up for an account. Super easy, just like anything else. You have your name, your email address, your username, postal code, etc. like that. And PSA does give you the option to sign up for memberships, which if you're doing bulk submissions, you're doing 50 or more cards, I would recommend signing up for this. It's a lot cheaper that way because PSA has recently raised their base price of cards up to $20 per card. And if you do these membership deals, they get you down to like $15 to $10 in that range right there. So that's something I would highly recommend doing if you plan on sending quite a bit of cards in. So once you sign up, I already have an account, so I'll go ahead and log in real quick. So you type in your email address, your password, hit login, and I am a gold member right now. But after that, you go up, you hit start submission. You click on start, and it gives you the item type that you're doing. So if you're doing just regular cards, you click on the regular or small size cards, modern memorabilia cards, tall boy cards. And it gives you the options, supersized cards, T3 cards, coins, pins, packs. But for right now, we're just gonna stick with the regular card option. You click next. Submission type. If you're just sending them in for grading, you click on the grading, and it gives you options, to review, crossover. If you're sending something from BGS submission, a BGS slab, and you wanna get into a PSA slab, so you can click on that option. Or if your card is in an older PSA holder, it gives you the options to actually put it in a new holder. But for now, we're gonna click on the grading option. And the option you're gonna do is the very first one, the no autograph authentication. They do have other services, dual service, no grade, dual service card grade only, dual service autograph grade only. But for just regular cards, baseball, football, basketball cards, it's the no autograph authentication. So after that, you click on next. And this should bring you to, the service level that you want. And like I said, if you don't have a membership, these top options right here will not be available to you. These are only for bulk submission orders. So the very beginning, the lowest level you can do is the economy level. And that starts out at $20 per card, which is quite a bit. Unfortunately, they did raise their prices. If you want regular, it's up to $50. So, we'll go ahead and check out like the estimated turnaround times for these. So, regular card submission, the regular service is estimated at 20 business days, but I usually kind of double that anymore when it comes to PSA, unfortunately. But that's just what happens when they get backed up like this. Card submission bulk service is 100 plus, reholder is 25 days, ticket submission 100 plus, pack submission 100 plus. It's gonna vary, especially with them being backed up so much with being shut down for a couple months. But we'll go ahead and get back into the submission. We'll go through and click through all this. We'll continue on this one. So we'll go ahead and just do the regular economy service. And like I said, that is $20 a card, which isn't horrible, especially if you're sending, a card that you think is gonna grade really well, and it will bring up that value. So when you get to this page, you have to type in the card you're sending out. So let's go ahead and do a Luka Doncic card, a 2018 Panini Prism 280 Luka Doncic. Oops, sorry. So obviously there's a ton of different variations of this card. So it brings up the base version, the silver, the red, blue, mojo, red ice, purple, everything like that. But we're just gonna click on the regular base version. And over here, it gives you the option of how many cards you're sending in. You know, if you send in multiple, you change the quantity on that. And a tip that I would do if you are sending in a lot of the same card, a tip that I've been told that has worked pretty well is you put the best card, the most pristine card in the very back. Because when you submit these cards to PSA, they're gonna grade them in the order that you send them to them. So I would put the most pristine card towards the back. So when they look at the front few cards, and there's a little bit of damage to them, they're like, okay, well this one's an 8 or this one's a 9. And they get to that very back card, the last card on that list, and they see that there is nothing wrong with it. You're almost guaranteed to get a 10, especially if they gave those cards prior 8s or 9s. So that's just a tip that I would do if you are planning on sending in quite a bit of cards of the same card. And they also give you an option of a minimum grade that you want. If your card doesn't reach this grade, they won't even put it in a holder. They'll just send it back to you raw. So me personally, what I like to do is I'll go with an 8, which I usually don't send in cards that are less than an 8. I usually never will, that I personally think are less than 8. Because once they get to that 8 point, there really is no value to them to be graded. It's better just to keep them raw. So they give you the option just to explain to you what it means, a minimum grade. So you click I have read and understand, close window. And on the total declared value, a lot of people put the declared value of what it will be once it's graded a certain grade, but I always do the raw grade value. This is really just for insurance purposes. So the Luca, the raw, we'll just put $200. And then once you fill that out, you just click save. And it pops up down here in the quantity description, minimum grade. And you just do that for every card you have in your submission at the time. So after that's done, say you've put in, the 10 to 15, 50 plus cards, however many you're doing, you go ahead and hit next. Maybe if my computer will load. And then once it brings you to this page, it shows you how much the shipping is insured for, how much the service level fee is gonna cost you, which is $20, which isn't horrible, especially if that Luca comes back a 9 or a 10, you've done pretty well on that. And the return shipping gives you the option of insured shipping, USPS Express Mail, and FedEx. I always do insured shipping because there is chances that you could send these off and they get lost in the mail, like multiple packages have done before. It's just something to ensure that if they do get lost and you don't get your cards back, you will at least get some money back off them. And then once you've clicked on insured shipping and you've done the option that you would like, you come down here, and to pay for these, PSA will process the order after they're graded, right before they ship them out. That's when they will actually charge you for these cards, which is kind of nice. So they don't charge you months in advance before these cards have even been graded, been looked at. They wait till the very end till they're getting ready to ship to you, which I think is pretty nice. So most people, they're not going to send a check in anymore. You're not going to send them money, or most people are going to use their credit card. So once you have your credit card filled out, you'll click next. It won't let me go on there. But yes, after you fill out your credit card information, you click next, and that is the last step of that. Your order's confirmed, you submit it, and it'll give you a printout sheet on what you need to package in with your cards, and package them pretty secure. I'll do a video later on how I prepare my cards, how I get them packaged up and ready to send to PSA. But that's really it, guys. It's a very simple process. I've found it a lot simpler than the BGS submission, which they do have an option for online, but when I first get on there, they usually only show a paper option, which I don't like that. I would rather just do it all online. It sends you an email confirmation. It allows you to print something out to include into that package. So PSA does know what cards you have, what order they're gonna be in. Like I said, if you are sending in multiples of a card, make sure you put the most pristine card, the best looking card on the back of that group that you're sending in, because once PSA gets to that card, if they've already given 8s or 9s to the cards beforehand, once they see how good a shape that is, you're almost guaranteed a 10. But like I said, guys, that's really it. It's a very simple process. It's nothing to get, real worried about or, frustrated about. It's very easy, and they'll help you along the way. It's simple questions. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was informative. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I'm planning on putting out another video to show how to do a BGS submission, SGC submission. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.